Oh my God! We're having a fire sale! Oh, the burning! It burns me! Evacuate all the school children! Ah! Oh, mate! This isn't a fever! Sing, Gray! Can't even see where the knob is!
Today we're talking about our favorite types of fire and how we are going to get you to retire early.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting, you'll spend it and be broke again.
Okay, so starting off, what is fire? Well, friction causes heat. No, we're playing. So FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Financial independence, typically meaning that your investments are able to cover your expenses. Retire early, pretty self-explanatory. You're just retiring early. Largely based off the 4% rule, which basically just says that you can withdraw 4% of your retirement accounts every year, and your retirement savings should last you 30 years.
To calculate what your FIRE number is, it's actually really simple. So you take your annual expenses, or what you expect your annual expenses to be, you multiply that by 25, and that's your FIRE number. That's it. So if you expect to live a $40,000 a year lifestyle, you multiply that by 25, and you have $1 million you need to hit. It's that simple. That's your FIRE number.
And while those concepts are universal across all the types of FIRE, when exactly you're able to retire and how much you need to save in your overall approach can vary. So let's break it down. Starting off with the first one, lean FIRE. What is it? You're essentially just retiring with minimal expenses. You're living frugally pretty much forever. So typically your expenses are about $25,000 to $40,000 a year. So let's say you wanted a $30,000 a year lifestyle, you would need $750,000 if you followed that 4% withdrawal rate. Typically, the timeline for this is something that you can achieve in 10 to 15 years of aggressive saving and investing. But it's really just for those people who are extreme minimalists, don't mind a small apartment, maybe the van life, some alternative lifestyles, cooking at home, not going out, just not living the luxurious lifestyle. So basically the overall pros cons of this are, the pros is it doesn't take much. It's one of the lighter, leaner FIRE types, but it is pretty restrictive. You're not able to live a luxurious lifestyle. It doesn't leave much room for lifestyle creep. So you have to be very vigilant, and it essentially requires budgeting and frugality for life.
So the second type of FIRE is going to be regular FIRE. And we kind of already explained what this was a little bit earlier, but this is your standard FIRE, or what we were talking about. Typically, this is a $40,000 to $70,000 a year spending rate. So let's say you're shooting for a $50,000 a year lifestyle. That's $1.25 million needed for retirement. Obviously, those numbers are a little bit bigger, so that time frame to get there is going to be a little bit longer. Usually this takes, we'll say, around 15 to 20 years to achieve. Now, who is this for? So regular FIRE is good for people wanting normal middle-class retirement lifestyles. And this is also good for people that live in most mid-sized cities comfortably. So they're not living in a super expensive area, and they're probably making a decent income. Some of the pros of this are just going to be a more comfortable lifestyle than lean, like I said. Lean FIRE is maybe too frugal, and you need a little bit more. You don't need to live luxurious, but you need a little bit more. Now, some of the cons is, or the biggest con I should say, is it takes longer. To hit that bigger number, live that bigger lifestyle, it's going to take longer to hit. Maybe you don't have the time to just wait a longer or go for a bigger goal. You need to retire right now for some reason.
All right, next, a step up from that is fat FIRE. You're probably going to be able to guess what this one is. It's simply retiring with a luxurious lifestyle. You can see the progression here. So say you wanted a $100,000 a year lifestyle, you need $2.5 million. A $200,000 lifestyle, you need $5 million. The con is, of course, the time that it takes. It's going to require a lot of work. You're going to have to be disciplined over a longer period of time. Yeah. So it takes a lot of work, but in the end, the pro is that it's paying off. You get that money to spend. Now, of course, with this, say you're starting at 25, 30 years from now is 55. You're still retiring early and you get to live this luxurious lifestyle. Kind of need a high-paying job typically to be able to save up to this point. So it's really about a balance there of like, okay, what do I want in retirement?
And the next type of FIRE or FIRE movement is the Barista FIRE. And that is one that not a lot of people have heard of, and it might get you a little bit excited. So you save enough that your investments cover most, but not all of your expenses, and you work at a part-time or low-stress job just so you don't have to worry about your benefits being covered, and you get a little bit of residual income. It's kind of a hybrid between FIRE and traditional work because you typically only need 50 to 70% of your full FIRE number, which is way more achievable in a short period of time. So let's say you wanted to live a $40,000 a year lifestyle. So you only need to save for $25,000 a year. And you need $625,000 in retirement. Then you need to earn the remaining $15,000 in part-time work. And typically you can achieve this depending on how aggressive you are in probably 8 to 12-ish years. This is great for someone that's really worried about health insurance, so they want a really good employer health insurance. So you can think of it as working 15 to 20 hours maybe a week at maybe a coffee shop, a really cool bookstore you like, or maybe some seasonal work that makes you enough that, again, gets you to that 15,000 and your investments cover you the rest of your expenses. That's pretty awesome. And this one's great, again, for those people that want to get out and about still, want to communicate with people and see people. They don't want to just, I'm retired. All right, let me sit on the couch and watch TV kind of person. And the people that want to retire early, but don't maybe make the income or don't want to wait all the way to $750 or $1 million or $2 million. Again, you could stop at $600,000 and then just work to make up whatever you need. So, and the best part about that also is those numbers can fluctuate. So you can maybe work a little bit more and need a little bit less in retirement, which is also awesome.
All right, and the final FIRE on the list is Coast FIRE. We have a designated video specifically towards this FIRE, but essentially you're going to retire at a normal age for this one. The magic thing is you only need to hit a certain much smaller number at an earlier age to where compound interest carries it to where you're a millionaire, multimillionaire in retirement. So say you're 25, you need $67,000 saved, and compound interest has enough power to carry that to $1 million by 65. So you're like, well, you know, financial independence, retire early. You're not necessarily retiring early here, but it's taking away a lot of that stress of like, oh, I got to save towards investment. I got to save towards investment. Once you hit your number, you have the option to stop. Now, we're not saying that you should stop investing towards retirement, but with this approach, it is an option. So while the con is you don't get to retire early, the pro is that you can redirect a lot of those savings towards other things that you may be interested in.
So Taylor, of these options, what's your favorite type of FIRE for you? And what's your least favorite type of FIRE? Not necessarily you recommend, but for you.
Yeah, that's tough. I shy away from, I think, lean FIRE a little bit, just the restrictions that it kind of puts on you in retirement. I don't think I'd necessarily be a fan of. Now, Coast FIRE and Barista FIRE are very interesting to me. I think it offers a lot of flexibility. It's not too high stress. Now, with Coast FIRE, you're not retiring early. I do want to retire early.
That's fair.
65 is a bit late. So if I had to choose one, I think it'd actually be between the normal FIRE and Barista FIRE. Leaning Barista just because while I do have passions and things I'd want to do once I retire, I feel like I'd need to do something specific for a while as well. Yeah. And I think I, enjoy the social aspect of work at times. So having that kind of purpose and reason to go do something, I think is really nice. So if I had to narrow it down to one, I think I'm leaning Barista, and I'm leaning away from lean.
That's fair. I think I'm very similar, to be honest. I don't love the limitations of lean. You do get to retire early, but at what cost? You don't really get to live. You get to still eat beans and rice the rest of your life. So there's no real outlook for that. If you're that minimalist, it works out for you fine. But then Barista FIRE, I agree. I like the idea of doing something. I just don't know if I want it tied to a paycheck or benefits where I still have to go get it. You know what I mean? To me, I feel like you're lacking the financial independence and you retired early. You're still tied to something, but I don't mind it. Yeah. I lean, like you said, towards Coast or regular. Me personally, I think I want to retire early as well. I want to hit, 45 and be done, be able to do whatever I want with my kids, vacation wherever I want, all my expenses are covered, and just be able to hang out basically and go chase my passions. That's what I want to do. So I lean towards that one, but I really love the idea. And it took so much stress off me when I calculated my Coast FIRE number. Like knowing that number that I just have to hit this by this age, and I never ever have to put a single penny in my account again, and I'll be absolutely fine. And then when I did that and realized I already hit it, I'm like, whoa. I'm feeling much better. Yeah.
Let us know if you guys actually want us to do a video every time we hit one of these new FIRE numbers.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
It may be further down the line. Fat FIRE might be a bit of a struggle.
We hit Fat FIRE at 30.
You're going to see us on YouTube at 60, all wrinkly. We missed 30 by a little bit, guys.
Let us know in the comments your favorite type of fire. Which ones resonated with you? The biggest pros and biggest cons. To me, all of them have a huge pro.
Yeah.
But they also have a huge con. And that's the reason I had to pick one versus the other. So let us know in the comments. We look forward to those. We love reading those and commenting back. Always like these videos. Always subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.